In today's session of Divorce Court. When Diane met Jeff, she thought their life together would be a dream. But Jeff never told her about his past.
I was on escape from jail.
You were an escapee.
The day we got married, he went into the next courtroom and got sentenced to 33 years.
Diane said she'd wait for him, but while he was away, she broke her promise.
3 months after I got to prison, she came in and she was pregnant.
I was angry, I was lonely, it was a one-time thing.
Now Jeff has a new woman on his side.
Who's this person sitting here?
This is my new girlfriend.
You are still married, let me remind you. The divorce is not final.
Today, Diane Simpson and Jeff Simpson confront each other in divorce court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Mablean Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Jeff Simpson versus Diane Simpson. I understand the two of you are divorcing. How may I assist in that process?
Well, Your Honor, I've been with this man for 10 years. He got sent to prison, sentenced to 33 years, and I was devastated. It was a very traumatic evening for me.
10 years. You were married. He got sentenced to 33 years in prison.
Yeah.
Then how's he here today?
He got out paroled early.
When did you marry him? Before or after he went to prison?
Before. He was in jail when he proposed to me through the glass.
So did you meet him in jail?
No. We were living together before he went to jail.
So you were living together before you went to jail?
Yeah.
Where'd you meet him and how and when?
Through a friend of mine. He was living with a friend of mine. And
so he did something while you were together which caused him to go to jail?
No, Your
What
Honor,
happened?
it was before we met.
He had done something before you met?
That's not true, Your Honor. That's
That
not
is.
true.
And he got arrested after
Diane,
you
you
met?
know that's
Yes,
not true.
they broke in at 4 o'clock in the morning and took him away.
They being the police?
The police, yes.
And you didn't know anything about this man's past?
No,
Oh,
he was
please.
very
Come
secretive.
on, Diane.
You never told me anything.
All our friends told you about what was going on with me, and you knew that too.
No, I did not.
Well,
Yes,
tell
you
me
did.
what was going
Yes,
on,
you
because
did.
I'm at a loss.
I was on escape from jail.
You were an escapee.
Yes, I was an escapee, and when I met Diane,
You announced to her that you were a fugitive from justice.
yes, I did, Your Honor.
Tell me, how did you tell her that?
Pretty much with the things that I was doing, I had let her know that, hey, the police are after me, and there's places that I cannot go because I have escaped.
A stranger that you didn't know whether she would call the police
No,
on you or
this
not, you're going to tell me that you sat down
this
and told
was
her all this?
After we got to know each other, and I didn't tell her right off the bat. This was after I got to know her a little better, a lot better, actually.
And you told her that?
Yes.
What made
yes,
you comfortable
way.
that she wouldn't call the police and turn you in?
Because at the time when I told her, I was in love with Diane, and I thought that, me and her were going to be together for life. And
How are you going to be together for life when you're an escapee from prison? Did you think you weren't going to ever get caught? Or did you think she was going to do life in prison with you?
well, I didn't think I was going to get caught. And
Miss Simpson,
Yes.
this man is saying that he stood there and told you, I'm an escapee from prison,
If he had told
I'm
me,
running from the law, but I want us to live happily ever after. And you fell for that.
No, I did not find out he was an escapee till years later when he sent me all the details that the police reports. Copies
You mean
of those.
after he got arrested?
Years after he got arrested.
no, not years after I
Yes.
got arrested. Diane, while I was in jail for a year. Not just did you get all my transcripts, but you talked to my lawyer, for one.
But that was when you were in jail
I
for
know,
a year. But
that's-
I'm trying to find out before the police finally found you,
Right.
thank God, and you got arrested. You hadn't told her about this sordid past?
No, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Everybody was made aware of what was going on with me.
I still don't believe that you told her all of that.
Well, Your Honor, I don't know how to prove it to you, but I did. One of the reasons why I told Diane everything was because I thought she was gonna, we were gonna get
Be
married,
together
have
forever.
kids. Exactly.
Even if it meant life in prison.
Yeah,
Together.
Yeah.
Ms. Simpson, and now when you found out he was an escapee and the police arrested him, took him back to jail, You knew then that he was a prisoner, right?
Yes.
You married him after the fact?
Yes.
Okay, so your excuse before, you said you didn't know.
Yeah.
Once he's in jail, you know. At least you know one thing, he's in jail. Even if you didn't know why he was in jail.
Right.
And even if you didn't know his sordid past, you knew this moment he's in jail.
Yeah.
Why did you pursue it and marry him? You had been given an escape.
I was young.
That's a good way to put it. You had been given an escape.
No, I was young and in love. I wanted to make it work with him. I wanted to keep him. And I didn't really think he'd be in that long.
The state was keeping him. You didn't need to keep him.
I just didn't know he'd be in that long.
But didn't they tell you how long he'd be in there?
Not until after we were married.
No, you talked to my lawyer.
Simpson,
come on.
now.
You talked to my lawyers. He told you 33 years. And that we do a plea agreement for 10 years.
The day we got
that.
married, he went into the next courtroom and got sentenced to 33 years.
Now, he says he wasn't sentenced to 33 years. He said there was a plea agreement for 10.
He was sentenced to 33 years with a minimum of 10.
The day after you got married?
The day we got married.
Well, Miss Simpson, he was due to be sentenced the day you got married.
Exactly. So this whole
but you
process
hadn't been sentenced yet.
Taken care of.
To the 10 years with him. Miss Simpson, you going to tell me now, you know he's in jail. He's about to be sentenced. You still haven't married yet. You got a way of escape. You didn't bother to inquire?
No. I believed
So now
in him.
who do you blame for that?
Myself.
Thank you.
I believed in him. He talked a good talk.
No. He's no longer talking a good talk. You knew then that he's going away at least 10 years. Yeah. So just because he told you to wait for him, you have free will.
I know.
Exactly. You
but
had
I
free
believed
will.
in marriage and I wanted to make it work.
And that was way before we even filed for the divorce.
How were you going to make, you wanted to make it work? So you stayed with him for 10 years while he was in jail?
Yeah.
No, she did not stay with me for 10 years while I was in jail.
Oh, she didn't?
Heck no, she didn't.
No,
I mean,
not the lady who's professing to me that she wanted to make it work.
Oh, not the lady that was professing to you that she wanted to make it work. 3 months after I got to prison, she came in and she was pregnant. You know, and just
You mean not
dropped
only
it
do you
on
have the power to escape from prison, you have the power to impregnate from prison too?
I guess so. You know, because and
3 months later, tell me, was a conjugal visit?
No, we don't have conjugal
No, we got in a
visits.
fight after he went to prison about the length of his sentence. I was angry. I was lonely. It was a one-time thing with the child's father.
No, it was not a one-time thing. I got, Your Honor. Excuse me. I got a letter right here.
You got into a fight about the length of his prison sentence.
Hey.
Why do you have to fight with him about the length of his prison sentence? You're the one that's free. So then what you do?
A one-night thing. I got a letter right here.
Thing.
A one-night thing.
I am not with him any longer.
Might not be with him any longer, but it sure says right here, it has his whole life story about how he's a rock and roll star and how he works here.
Let me read this.
When divorce court returns, the judge admonishes both Diane and Jeff.
You know, don't come into this court because you're a female and I'm a female and thinking because you shed a few tears to me that that's going to win me over. Who's this person sitting here?
This is my new girlfriend.
You are still married. Let me remind you, the divorce is not final.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce court is back in the case of Diane Simpson, who says she had no idea her husband Jeff was a prison escapee when she married him.
How did you get this letter?
She wrote it to me.
To tell you about her new love.
About her new love and about how she doesn't want to have anything to do with me
anymore. But this says you had filed for divorce by then.
Yes.
Well, if you filed for divorce, you told her you didn't want her.
Well, that was, as a matter of fact, that
3
was
months
one of the
after you married this man who you were just so in love with, and even though he was going to prison and you were going to wait for him, you get pregnant by somebody else.
Yeah.
What kind of love was that? Lasted all of 3 months. Less than 3 months. If you're 3 months pregnant by the time you go see him.
No, I was 2 months pregnant.
Now you're going to tell me that you were waiting on him and you were so in love.
Yeah.
Well, that conduct doesn't tell me the same thing. You know, don't come into this court because you're a female and I'm a female and thinking because you shed a few tears to me that's going to win me over. And you know, I'm not suggesting that he was he was great and all of that and has no fault in this, but you were in complete control.
I know.
There were men all around you, weren't there?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, she had a few different boyfriends after the time she had gotten pregnant, you know, and would freely talk about them when I was on the phone. And I, you know, had this sneaking suspicion she would do that just to, you know, make me angry or you know, make me upset to.
No, I did not talk
get
to
revenge
you
or
about
But this situation is no different than the men who go to war and you promise that I'm going to be faithful and I'm going to wait for you. Wait for you means you don't have affairs. Now, if you told me that I spent 10 years of my life not dealing with anyone, not having any affairs, being a faithful, loyal wife, that's one thing. But you're not being a faithful, loyal wife to him. I don't know why you just didn't divorce him. You knew after 3 months that you didn't want to wait 10 years.
I had plenty of opportunities to divorce him. I had a couple offers, divorce him and be with me.
And why didn't you?
I made him a promise that I would stay married to him.
What does stay married to him mean? Just have a piece of paper?
Yeah.
But
basically,
I can sleep
until
around
he
with
got
whoever
out.
I want to? No. During these 10 years?
He said that if the situations were reversed, he'd be doing the
Why
same thing.
you keep talking about what he said? That's your body. You were the one misusing and abusing your body. That's what you're doing, Mrs. Simpson. Your body. Married on paper, but running around with everybody else. All you had to do was get a divorce. He filed. Why didn't you send the papers back? Sounds harsh, doesn't it?
Yes. I have a letter from him in '96. It states, I want to show and prove to you that I can be a good and reliable husband and father.
How can a person in prison be a good, reliable husband and father? He can't do anything for you in prison.
When he got out, he wanted to do that, and I believed him.
When I got out, we wanted to do that.
So
Diane,
if you believed
in that
him
whole 10
then,
years, how many times did you write? How many times did you come up and visit?
I could not come up and visit you.
After
you know why.
5 years, you could. I was in for 10 years.
You did not tell
you
me
had
that.
5 years. Yes, you knew that. You had the paperwork yourself.
What
You
you
were in
asking
South Dakota. You told me that you were saving up money for me to come and see you. That never materialized, did it?
No, and I never called you.
So another lie that he
South
gave to you, and another reason and justification for you to move on with your life.
I know.
You kept getting all kind of signs and signals, but you stayed there.
Because I'm stupid.
No, I don't call you stupid, but you can't blame him. My point is, you say you want me to order him to pay for collect calls that he made to you while he was in jail? Is that what you're asking me to do?
Yes. And I want the pictures that I sent to him of me and my children.
The collect calls, which means that he dialed your number from prison.
Yeah.
And I think the way the operator does it is she warns you in advance. This call is coming from an inmate in the correctional institution. Will you accept it?
He would get angry with me when I wouldn't.
Come on, Diane, please.
And Miss Simpson, what could he do to you from prison?
Nothing.
Not a thing. Anybody make you accept those collect calls?
No.
You did it for?
Because I loved him.
And now you no longer love him.
Because you love me.
I still love him.
Oh, that's it. You still love him.
And
he's with
that's the
somebody
problem.
else.
Yeah.
And that's the whole reason
I got
why
it now.
this
I
whole
understand
thing
it
is
clearly.
here. And
Now, that's why you want him to pay for everything, is because you still love him and he's with someone else.
He made promises to me that he didn't keep.
I made promises to you.
You know, everybody
told me you would pay for those calls.
What about your promises to me, Diane?
Well, you know what? I don't want to
nothing?
hear about the promises either of you made, because, you know, you sound really, really silly now. Everybody who gets a divorce has made promises to each other that they didn't keep. That's why they're getting a divorce. But every time those promises are broken and people get a divorce, this court can run back inside the marriage and say, well, you remember all the shirts she bought you and the shoes she bought you and the phone calls she accepted and the meals that she cooked and the food that she brought you to the jail and da-da-da-da-da. We get to take it back now because you didn't keep your vows.
I just want this over. I just want to be done with it.
It has been over.
You know,
It has not.
Yes, it has. Other than the
if you
paperwork,
had
it has
signed
been.
those divorce papers in 1991 when he sent them, it would have been over. You want him back.
No, I don't.
You just said you're still in love
I
with
still
him.
love him, but I don't want him back. Not after all this.
After all this.
Who's this person
After
sitting
I
here?
got out, this is my new girlfriend. Actually, not new. I've been writing her, and she's been coming to see me for the last 6-7 years.
So while you were still married to Miss Simpson?
No, we were.
Yes, we
No,
were.
you're still married.
Your Honor, this is
You
a matter
are still married. Let me remind you, the divorce is not final. So you found somebody
Your Honor,
else?
Yes, I did. But as far as the divorce goes, I look in the paper, and right here it says Jeff David Simpson and Diane Michelle Simpson divorced.
Let me see that. So is that when you started a relationship with someone else?
It was after that, yeah.
It doesn't say you're divorced. It says divorce petitions filed. And it was filed, but it didn't say that it was final.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict and an update on the case of Arlene Greer versus Kevin Greer.
I have stood by his side through thick and thin, and now he's ready to dump me and my daughter.
Divorce court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce court is back and the verdict is in. In the case of Diane Simpson, who says her husband Jeff never told her he was an escapee from prison.
So now you want me to order him to pay for what?
I want him to pay for the collect calls that during the time we were married, because now we are not together. He is with someone else now.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He told me to wait for him. And then
Did he tell you to jump over a bridge? Would you have done that?
No.
How much money in collect phone calls?
I have no idea. The total maybe $800.
How many times have you paid those bills? Didn't they come every month? Didn't the bills come every month?
Yes.
Haven't
I
that
could
money
not
been
pay
paid
them.
over and over and over again?
I could not pay them.
So what
My
happened
phone
to the
got
phone
shut
bills?
off.
And do you still owe the phone company?
Yes, I do.
Now, you want to ask me to pay the phone company whatever the balance is that's left on that outstanding bill?
No, just to collect calls.
Oh, so you don't want him to share in that? What did you owe the telephone company? That's a much more reasonable request.
I don't know. They don't have the records anymore. It's been since like 92, 93.
Oh, now, are you serious? The last 7 years? Is that what you're asking me?
What?
It's been over 7 years. The telephone company...
I lost that phone.
Right, and the telephone company hasn't sued you.
No.
And you don't know what the balance is.
No.
The statute of limitations has run. They can't sue you. They're not coming after you for what you left owing. Get out of my court. Court's adjourned.
All rise. Parties may leave the courtroom.
When divorce court returns, an update on the case of Arlene Greer versus Kevin Greer.
He lost his weight and decided that he's too good for me.
Closed captioning for divorce court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in divorce court. When Kevin and Arlene got married, they both weighed nearly 300 pounds. But Kevin lost 110 pounds, and Arlene says that's when the trouble began.
He lost his weight and decided that he's too good for me. I have stood by his side through thick and thin, and now he's ready to dump me and my daughter.
You do not love yourself.
Kevin, my heart is broken. You have ripped my heart out.
Arlene brought Kevin to divorce court to ask the judge to have Kevin pay all her living expenses for 3 months so she could get on her feet financially.
What do you have to say about her proposal that you pay her expenses for the next 3 months for she and your child?
I think that's entirely too long of a time for someone to get on their feet.
The judge agreed to make Kevin pay for 2 months. Now Kevin and Arlene are working on a parenting plan so they can both take care of their daughter. And Arlene has started exercising and has lost 12 pounds.
I'm not happy that I was made to be the bad person in this whole thing.
I thought the verdict was fair, but maybe not as fair to Diane as I'd like to be. I have no ill feelings towards her, and you know, if that's something that she needs resolved, I have no problem giving her the pictures back or you know, helping her out.